If you struggle with diarrhea, bloating, or constipation, and you have a pet dog living at home, what I'm about to share may shock you. Scientists say that dogs can pass gut worms to their owners, nasty, maggot-like bugs such as tapeworms, hookworms, whipworms, and toxoplasma. Once inside you, these tiny bloodsuckers feed on your gut lining and lay eggs by the millions until your entire gut could become raw and inflamed. So if you struggle with bloating, cramping, diarrhea, or other issues, it could be a sign of gutworm infection. Thankfully, a new worm cleansing solution has been created to flush out the bugs and purify your gut so it's parasite-free. Demand is surging as thousands of Americans are seeing amazing results, all because this groundbreaking solution helps cleanse your gut safely and completely, helping you be blissfully free from symptoms like gas, bloating, and constipation. If you've tried things like probiotics, gluten-free diets, and anti-inflammatories, and none of it's working, it's because you have to target the real culprit, which could be the tiny worms wreaking havoc on your gut and making your immune system go haywire. If you want to know how to eliminate these parasites quickly so they don't endanger your health, then pay close attention to what I'm about to share. Research shows that 9 out of 10 people will have parasites at some point in their lifetime and not even know it. Left untreated, it does more than give you the runs or stop up your bowels. It can ruin your eyesight, trash your immune system, and blow your memory, focus, and cognitive skills to bits. And worst of all, if it goes unchecked for too long, it can even kill you. Sure, you can keep wasting your money on probiotics, prebiotics, weird diets, or risky drugs, but none of these will ever address the root cause of your bloated belly, god-awful gas, or stinky stools. Fortunately, you can end your digestive woes and prevent all of this from happening to you. Thanks to a recent scientific breakthrough, you could enjoy regular healthy BMs, more energy, sharper thinking, a flatter belly, and much more. This little-known gut fix is so new and unconventional, I can pretty much guarantee your straight-laced doctor hasn't even thought of it. It contains a surprising ingredient, one discovered by ancient Egyptians more than 1,000 years ago. Folk doctors around the world have used it to safely heal their patients from even the deadliest diseases. It's so powerful, it was actually outlawed by the government. Now, stunning new research confirms what these simple folk have known all along. There's no need to put yourself at the mercy of modern mass medicine because there's a safe, natural remedy that can restore your health and help you live a longer, happier, healthier life. And you can do it without dangerous drugs, risky surgeries, or expensive doctor's visits. The best thing about it is it's fast, 100% natural, and completely safe. Once you try it, you could feel better than you have in years. In just a few minutes, I'll show you exactly what this little-known gut fix is. You'll also see how it can help you lose the tummy bloat, get rid of the gas, and stop being a prisoner to the toilet. Plus, I'll show you why it works so well and how you can use it right away to start feeling like yourself again. But before I do, let me introduce myself. My name is Lisa King, and I'm a best-selling author, award-winning health influencer, and pharmacist of over 30 years. When I tell people that, they get a bit intimidated. They hear pharmacist and they think drugs. And while pharmacology is my background and something that I love, that doesn't mean I don't also pay attention to natural solutions that get results. Because in the end, that's what I'm passionate about. Helping men and women like you make big changes in their health with tiny little shifts in their lifestyles. That's why I've dedicated my life to helping people, just like you, find the quickest, easiest path to improving their overall health to get big results in their day-to-day lives. I want to take all the confusion surrounding these things and show you just how simple it can be. If you've seen any of my content online, then you'll know that I believe that there is nothing you can't do when it comes to your body. Nothing is inevitable, not even your genetics. The bottom line is, I don't care what the established opinion is. I only care about what works. Over the years, I've learned that mainstream medicine tends to overlook the obvious. Because let's face it, it doesn't matter how many people have successfully used a remedy or for how long. Some doctors would rather be dragged through the street kicking and screaming than admit they're wrong. It can take up to 50 years for mainstream medicine to accept a new idea, if they do at all. Now that's a long time to wait, especially if you're feeling lousy. I've seen too many people suffer with illnesses that have an easy solution. That's why I've decided to do the long, hard work of tracking down the natural treatments that really help people. I won't hesitate to do whatever it takes to find safe, proven treatments that can help my patients. And while I know there are hundreds, even thousands of folk remedies out there, I always insist on seeing the scientific data to back them up. So when I heard about an ancient herb that could help people with their digestive issues and leaky gut, I was naturally skeptical. It wasn't until I came across an article in a little-known journal that I discovered the truth. And let me tell you what I found about Knock My Socks Off. You see, I've always known the key to helping people feel better and stay that way is to get to the root of the problem. It's how I've been able to help thousands of patients take charge of their body and live happier, healthier lives. That's why when I heard about this alarming health hijacker that affects the lives of millions of everyday Americans, I knew I had to let you know right away. It all started when I stumbled on a shocking statement in a decades-old medical book. In fact, if I hadn't read it to the very end, I never would have seen it. I'm pretty sure that book was heaven sent because it's helped me discover the real reason for dozens of chronic health problems. And here's what it said. We have a tremendous problem right here in the United States. It's just not being identified. You bet your bottom dollar I paid attention when I read that. This wasn't from just any Tom, Dick, or Harry. It was from one of the most well-known government institutions in the US. I wish I could tell you the name, but those money-grubbing medocrats would take me to the cleaners if I did. But let me tell you, they're not the only ones saying it. I dug into the research, and what I found even surprised me because it turns out there were dozens of studies, all saying the exact same thing. Heck, the CDC has already issued a warning about it. So what is this secret health hijacker? I'm talking about parasites, and in my opinion, it's one of the biggest undiagnosed health problems that exist today. It might seem like it's straight out of Hollywood, but what you're about to hear is 100% true. Research shows that 9 out of 10 people are infected with parasites, and most of them don't even know it. Even if you're clean, eat healthy, and take good care of your body, chances are you're still walking around with parasites in your system. It's impossible not to. If you've ever drank tap water, grabbed a doorknob, or walked barefoot in the grass, chances are you're already infected. I'll show you exactly where those little suckers hide in just a minute, and why they might be the real reason for nagging health issues like fatigue, weight gain, or memory problems, and of course, leaky gut. But before I do, I have to warn you, what you're about to hear might make you feel a bit queasy. It may even gross you out, but if I don't tell you about it, who will? You won't hear about it from your doctor. They don't learn about it in medical school. Mainstream medicine won't tell you either. And why would they? They're too busy stuffing their pockets with your hard-earned money. They'd rather close up shop and run to Alaska before they tell anything about a natural remedy that actually works. Now, before you say, I can't possibly have parasites, hear me out. These are the hard facts. Parasites aren't just a third world problem, they're also a first world problem, and we have them right here in the good old US of A. Make no mistake, there are plenty of ways regular people can get infected. Tap water can contain giardia, which is the most common parasite in the US. It's difficult to detect, and it's so small it slips through most filters. To get rid of it, you need to boil your water for at least a minute to kill it. Food is another way you can get infected. Meat, fish, and pork can have flatworms, roundworms, or even tapeworms. Your food needs to be fully cooked to destroy them, which means medium done or rare meat is a problem. Oh, and so is sushi. Pinworms are another common type of parasite in the US. They're especially common in daycares and schools, and they happen because little kids aren't great at hygiene. They tend to touch their anal area and then touch everything else around them, especially when they have a constant itch. If you live or work with kids or simply touch any surface they do, you can get infected. Which brings me to pets. Are you a pet owner or do you know someone who has a pet? Dogs can carry toxocariasis. It's a roundworm that spends its entire life roaming through your body, boring holes in any organ it runs into. If you have a cat, you get a 2-for-1 deal because they can carry toxocariasis and toxoplasmosis gondii. Ever seen your dog drag their butt on the carpet? Yep. Unless you deworm your pet every 3 months, you can be pretty sure they've just given you the gift that keeps on giving. And then there's crypto. No, not cryptocurrency, but cryptosporidium. According to the CDC, crypto outbreaks are increasing by about 13% each year. An infected person can produce millions of these microscopic eggs, but it only takes a few dozen eggs for us to get infected. And these eggs are tough. They're found in pool water, and as long as they don't get dried out, they can live for years. Yep. You heard that right. I said years. That's because even chlorine can't kill them. Crypto is even smaller than Giardia, so filters that were designed for Giardia won't get rid of them. Now, I know this may sound a little scary, and perhaps it is because parasites are the ultimate predator. They can jump from host to host without you knowing. They trick your body into giving them what they need to survive, and they can hide in your body for years without you noticing a single thing. So how can you tell if you have parasites? Well, first of all, don't rush to the toilet. Most parasites aren't even visible to the naked eye, and some only shed their eggs every few days. So you might not see them in your stool right away, but don't rush off to the doctor because those tests at the doctor's office aren't much better. Would you believe they're not sensitive enough to pick up most parasites? You'd need to bring in your stool sample 7 days in a row just to be sure. And before you ask the doctor for a prescription, there's something else you should know. Those expensive antiparasitics might not even work. That's because, just like what's happened with bacteria and antibiotics, many parasites have developed a resistance to even our strongest drugs. So it's a real mess. And if you do decide to take what your doctor gives you, watch out. It could make things worse. Sure, they might kill some of your parasites, but they'll kill the good bacteria right along with them. So you could end up even sicker than before. And that brings me to the most important part. You can be sick as a dog, and your doctor may not have a clue that it's all due to parasites. That's because the symptoms of parasites look a lot like many common health issues. Take diarrhea, for example. Some parasites make a chemical that lowers your sodium and chloride levels. Sodium and chloride are electrolytes that help balance the amount of fluid in your body. When that's disrupted, you might seesaw from constipation to diarrhea, often on the same day. Other parasites lodge themselves way up in your small intestine. That can lead to inflammation, which can cause smelly gas and uncomfortable bloating. Of course, if parasites are too big, they can actually block your intestinal tract. That can make it difficult for you to pass a bowel movement. Plus, over time, your bowels might become irritated and inflamed, making it hard for you to absorb nutrients and fats. If you've ever had those weird stools that float on top of the water, then you've experienced this. The reason they do that is because they're full of fat. But here's the disturbing thing. Parasites don't just hang out in your intestines. They can travel anywhere in your body. They can settle into your joints and your muscles and eat the tissue. You might notice a painful, swollen bump that doesn't go away, or you might develop swelling and inflammation that look a lot like arthritis, but are actually due to damage caused by the parasite. And then there are allergies. Some types of parasites eat at the lining of your intestines. That creates little tears and holes, which in turn cause what's called leaky gut. It's called that because the tears and holes allow toxins and large undigested particles of food to slip into your blood. At the same time, the enzymes your body uses to break down undigested food can also end up outside your gut, and that's not food for your body. Once there, the enzymes activate your immune system, triggering dangerous inflammation that can harm your body. But that's not all, because the gut affects your entire body. Gut problems can cause headaches, rashes, fatigue, brain fog, even anxiety and depression. The list goes on and on. Parasites can get under your skin and cause rashes that won't go away. They can wear down your immune system so you catch every virus or cold that's going around. And they can rob you of all the proteins, fats, and carbohydrates your body needs. So you may feel tired and crave carbs or sugar even after eating a full meal. Parasites can even affect your mood. Here's how they do it. They release toxins that destroy certain parts of your brain. Then, they hijack other areas of your brain, forcing it to create the neurotransmitters they need to survive. Parasites can literally rewire your brain and make you feel anxiety, depression, or anger. And in some rare instances, parasites have even caused some people to become suicidal. Now, you might not believe a parasite could drive a person to hurt themselves, but we can see this type of dangerous behavior in rats. You see, rats get infected by a parasite called Toxoplasma gondii, or toxo for short. Toxo is a parasite that's normally found in cats, but when rats eat something that's contaminated with cat feces, they get infected with toxo. Now here's where things get really weird. Scientists discovered that once toxo makes it to the rat's brain, it actually changes the way the rat's brain works. Instead of being terrified when it smells cat pee, the rat actually stops being afraid, so it doesn't run away. Here's where things get even stranger. In male rats, there's a specific part of the brain that's responsible for sexual behavior. Normally, it only lights up when they see a female rat, but this devious little parasite changes that. And here's what happens. First, the rat's brain tells them, you smell a cat, but he's not dangerous. And second, their brain also tells them that cat is a potential mate, so they run straight towards it, which is completely crazy. Now, if toxo can cause a rat to commit suicide, then it can cause a human to do some pretty strange things too. For example, a professor out of Stanford University found people with toxo are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in an accident. They had slower reaction times and were more impulsive. Plus, they were more likely to engage in risky behaviors like speeding. And like most people infected with parasites, they had no clue they were infected. Another study went even further. It found men with toxo were more distrustful of authority, more jealous, and more likely to engage in rule bending and breaking. So even though it might seem like parasites can't affect you, you could end up having dangerous habits that could kill you. But that's not all. The CDC even found that tapeworms can get cancer spread to you and cause you to grow tumors. Look, I get this is scary, but the evidence is clear. If you leave these unwelcome guests in your body, things aren't going to get better. They're just going to get worse. And the parasites, well, they're not going to stop growing. Unless you do something about it, they're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. Fortunately, there's an ancient remedy that's been used for thousands of years to get rid of parasites and keep them gone. The Egyptians mention it in the Ebers Papyrus, which is considered the world's oldest medical book. Hippocrates, the world's first physician, turned it into wine and gave it to his patients, and chariot race champions in Rome drank it to toast their success. In the 18th century, a Swiss physician turned this healing elixir into a before-dinner liqueur. It was called the Green Fairy for its unusual color, and it was the talk of Europe. Now studies show that when it comes to getting rid of creepy crawlies, this herb is a must-have. That's because it contains 10 different parasite-fighting compounds that drive worms out of your body. No wonder experts are excited by how well it works. Thanks to this hardy little bush, hundreds of people around the world are already enjoying happier, healthier lives. And once you too get those nasty little critters out of your system, you could feel better too. Imagine if you didn't have to spend hours on the toilet, worry about passing gas at the wrong time, or suffer through that cramped, bloated feeling. And once your digestive system is up and running again, it could transform your entire life. Your aches and pains could fade away. Your focus and memory could sharpen, and you could be thinner than you've been in years. You could be happier, have more energy, and finally feel like things are looking up again. So what is this potent herb called? It's called wormwood, and it's the perfect way to eliminate parasites, maggots, and their eggs. But that's not all it does. Wormwood also fights bacteria too. While that might not seem like much, 2 of the most common types of bacteria, Salmonella and E. coli, make 1.5 million people sick each year. It can even fight against Helicobacter pylori, which may affect up to 60% of people in the US. You may not have heard of it yet, but experts believe that people with Helicobacter pylori are 6 times more likely to develop gastric cancer. Wormwood helps support the balance of healthy bacteria in your body, while easing gas, bloating, and improving your digestion. I can't think of a better, faster way to make a noticeable difference in your health. If you want to have the best chance of becoming your most authentic, incredible, powerful self, then you need Cleanse 24. Cleanse 24 is the best way to make sure parasites stop treating your body like a 5-star hotel. However, even though wormwood is incredibly powerful, Nation Health MD wanted to create the best product possible. You see, some formulas only get rid of the adult worms, which is crazy. Why in the world would you leave the maggots there? They'll just hatch, lay more eggs, and you'll be right back to where you started again. That's why every ingredient in Cleanse 24 was chosen for its ability to kill parasites at every single stage of life. That means the adult worms, the maggots, and their eggs. So you can be absolutely sure you get the good health you deserve. The first ingredient is black walnut. Black walnut is one of the most versatile nuts in the world, and ordinary folk have used it for everything from toothaches to snake bites. Native Americans were the first to use black walnut hulls as a gentle laxative and to eliminate parasites. Now, dozens of studies prove they're right. It turns out black walnut trees have a built-in security system that repels insects and other plants. And although the hulls contain dozens of active compounds, the most powerful one is juglone. It's a natural herbicide that sends parasites packing. If you're tired of the constant stomach problems, headaches, fatigue, and bloating, then this popular remedy is just what you need to get relief. Garlic is another herb that excels at getting rid of parasites. Just like black walnut oil, the active compound in garlic, called allicin, repels insects, and interestingly enough, birds too. And not only that, garlic is also a great way to stabilize your blood pressure, protect your heart, and boost your immune system. So it's a win-win when it comes to revitalizing your health. And then there's papain. This superstar ingredient comes from a delicious tropical fruit, often used in salads, salsa, and desserts. Christopher Columbus called it the fruit of the angels, and once you see how well it works, you'll wonder how you've managed without it. It's called papaya, and it contains an enzyme that melts parasites right out of their shells. It even stops new eggs from hatching. And while that may sound gross, it means papain is the perfect choice to help rid your body of even the most stubborn parasites. But papain's incredible abilities don't stop there. Folk healers praise this fruit for its ability to improve digestion, ease constipation, and reduce bloating too. Instead of planning how much you can eat, you could look slimmer, sexier, and more fit without cutting out a single calorie. Next up is muslinic acid. If you travel outside of the US, this handy compound might just be heaven sent. That's because it's been proven to fight against one of the deadliest diseases of all time, malaria. Now hold your horses. Right now you're probably thinking, there's no such thing as malaria in the US. That's for third world countries. And you'd be half right. Officially, malaria was eliminated in the US in 1951. However, what you might not realize is that the incidence of malaria infections have started rising over the last few years. In fact, in 2017, there were more cases of malaria than there have been in the last 60 years. Part of that is due to more people than ever traveling outside of the US, and the places they're visiting are all over the world. The more exotic, the better. At the same time, the number of people entering the US, either to live or just to visit, has also gone up. Unfortunately, there is no vaccine for malaria, and the parasite that causes malaria is rapidly becoming resistant to the most common drugs used to treat it. When you add the fact that most doctors wouldn't know what malaria was unless it stood up and said hello to them, well, it's easy to see there's a problem. But maslinic acid kills the parasite that carries malaria, and it kills them no matter how big or small they are. So whether they're eggs, maggots, or a full-grown mama bear, maslinic acid could clear them out in as little as 3 days. But the scientists at Nation Health MD didn't stop there. They also added turmeric. There's a reason why this popular spice is called liquid gold. That's because it does more than fight parasites. Turmeric has been used for over 5,000 years to help manage pain, swelling, digestion, cholesterol, blood sugar, and more. Turmeric has plenty of active compounds, but the most well-known is curcumin. Some experts say it's one of the most effective anti-inflammatory compounds in the world. Curcumin can ease joint pain, swelling, and improve mobility. It can also stabilize blood sugar levels. In fact, researchers in one study found curcumin was 400 times more powerful in activating AMPK levels than a popular drug. AMPK is the master regulator of energy in your body. When it's activated, it could help you boost energy, reduce cravings, and burn fat. If you've tried cutting calories, crazy exercise routines, or weird diets, then curcumin could help you look and feel better than you have in years. Last but not least is black pepper extract. Don't let this common kitchen spice fool you. This incredibly powerful spice has been used for thousands of years to heal the sick. Hundreds of studies confirm black pepper helps enhance brain functioning, boost nutrient absorption, and support a healthy digestive system. It's all thanks to a key component, piperine. Piperine is a potent antioxidant that helps protect your body from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress causes inflammation, which can damage cells, proteins, and even your DNA. That can make you age faster, and it can greatly increase your risk of chronic disease. Piperine fights oxidative stress, supports healthy inflammation levels, and helps your body kill many different kinds of bacteria. Piperine can also help you digest your food better. It helps you digest carbs and fats by encouraging your body to release more of the enzymes that digest food. Piperine can also relieve diarrhea too. It slows down the rate at which you digest food, so there are fewer explosions, and it eases stomach cramps. But there's one more reason we've added black pepper extract. There's no question black pepper has undeniable benefits when it comes to eliminating parasites. But when you add it to the other 7 ingredients, Cleanse 24 becomes a parasite-fighting superpower. That's because it takes every one of the ingredients I mentioned earlier and makes them even more powerful. So you can be absolutely sure you're clearing out those parasites as fast and as thoroughly as possible. But that's not all. Each one of these ingredients is also a winner when it comes to revitalizing your health, which means you could start feeling better than you have in years. No more weird symptoms that come out of nowhere. No more waiting months to see a doctor only to have them tell you you're fine. And no more wondering if you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. Instead, you'll be at your sharpest and your most productive, your healthiest, your happiest, and your most confident. When you get right down to it, it's clear Cleanse 24 could be one of the safest, most effective ways to attack and destroy the parasites living in your body. There's no reason to suffer anymore, especially when you've got a powerful, science-backed option in Cleanse 24. Here's the best part. When Nation Health MD was deciding how much to charge for the formula, they settled on $100. They said that after adding up the costs of using the most powerful, responsibly sourced ingredients, some of which you can't even buy in a store, that anyone who is really serious about getting rid of their parasites would snap it up right away and see massive changes. But after seeing how many people were struggling with their health and how many didn't have a clue they even had parasites, I reached out to Nation Health MD, urging them to bring the price down. After speaking to the folks at Nation Health MD, I was able to get them down to $69 a bottle. When you consider what a difference it could make in your health, I knew it was a real bargain. After all, if Cleanse 24 could help you feel just 50% better, wouldn't that make a huge difference in your life? Now that's a pretty steep discount, but I wanted them to go even lower. And after a bit more haggling, we finally managed to get the price down even more. So as a special gift for those of you who've watched this video until the end, I'm offering a special deal. If you order right now, you'll be able to get your own supply of Cleanse 24 for just $49 a bottle at just $1.63 a day. It's less than your average salad, and it's just for people watching this video right now. So go ahead and click the button below to claim it. Oh, and there's one thing you should know. You might want to consider buying more than one bottle of Cleanse 24. You see, parasites love hopping from host to host. So while you might get rid of all your parasites now, it's easy to pick them up again. And after finally getting rid of your stomach problems, the headaches, those weird rashes, and that crippling fatigue, you'll want to make sure you don't pick up any of those nasty little bloodsuckers again. That's why I recommend you do a deep clean every 3 months or so. Also, if you're living with other people, there's a good chance they could have parasites too. Remember the game Hot Potato? The one where you all stand in a circle and randomly throw a ball at someone else? Well, that's what happens when you've got parasites. You could end up passing them to each other for months or even years, which is why it makes sense to get enough Cleanse 24 for everyone. Plus, the more you buy, the bigger the discount. So you could end up paying just $42 a bottle, which is practically a steal. So I highly suggest you grab this special deal now. Nation Health MD searches the world over for the highest quality ingredients. They test every single one to make sure it's the purest, most potent it can be. And with all the supply chain problems right now, there's a good chance they could run out. Imagine getting rid of almost every parasite except for just a few. You head back to the page you bookmarked, click the Add to Cart button, only to see a big red out of stock banner. It could be weeks or even months until it's back in stock again, which means you could end up getting infected all over again. I'd hate to see that happen to you. If you want to make sure you have all the Cleanse 24 formula you need, go ahead and click the button below. When you do, you'll go straight to a secure order page. It uses the same technology as Amazon, so you can be sure your information is safe. Just fill in the details, place your order, and it will be on its way. You'll get an email to let you know when it's due to arrive. And remember, when you order Cleanse 24 today, you're covered by their down-to-the-last capsule guarantee. I want you to feel 100% confident that Cleanse 24 can help you get rid of harmful parasites and optimize your health. That's why Nation Health MD gives you a full 365 days to see if Cleanse 24 is right for you. That's right, you get a full year to try it out and see how much better you feel. I guarantee you'll get rid of your parasites and experience a noticeable change in your health. If for any reason you're not thrilled with your results, all you have to do is send them an email. You'll get a prompt and courteous refund of every penny you paid for Cleanse 24 formula, no questions asked. It's that simple. You have nothing to lose by trying out Cleanse 24 except the parasites robbing you of your health and vitality. But remember, this special 50% discount is only for those who've watched this video until the end. Once you leave this page, it'll be gone forever. Look, you have two choices you can make right now. You can keep running to doctor after doctor, hoping they won't say you're wasting their time. And you can keep taking all the tests and swallowing all those pills. It's your choice. But I've got to tell you something. The diarrhea, the constipation, the bloating, the weight gain, the gas, all that's not going away on its own. And I'm saying that with the experience of having helped thousands of patients, and as bad as things are now, if you don't do anything about it, your problems will just get worse because the parasites inside of you know exactly what they're supposed to do. So while you put off making the right choice, they're growing bigger and stronger, and they're laying hundreds more eggs every single day. I'm not trying to scare you here, but there are real risks to not doing anything, both for you and your loved ones, but you have a second option, and give yourself permission to live the life you deserve. All you have to do is try out Cleanse 24, click the button below, and get started today.